Hey there, Alex here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this week's video, I wanted to cover another data engineering basics topic. Specifically, I wanted to walk you guys through on how I go about choosing a specific storage solution for my project. In this week's video, I wanted to walk you guys through the main three questions that I ask myself every time I need to decide the storage solution. And based on these three questions, then I decide the technology that's appropriate. So if you're interested in figuring out how I'm going about deciding a storage solution, I encourage you to keep watching. So let's get started. The first thing I ask myself is, what kind of data do I have on my hands? So it usually follows in one of three categories. I have structured data, semi-structured data, or totally unstructured data. So whenever I have totally unstructured data, like images, video, PDFs, or I need to upload any non-standard file, I usually go ahead and choose blob storage. So this would be something like your S3 bucket, your blob Azure bucket, or your GCS bucket. On the other hand, if I know I have like some structured data, so for example, if I have like a sign-up form or a profile page, I will store that information in a structured database. So I will go ahead and use a technology like SQL or an RDB, like a relational database. Finally, if I have some structure to it, but sometimes I might not have all of the forms, or I only usually just have a keys and some values appended to it, I will use some NoSQL database. For example, if I need to store event information for a user based on a specific timestamp, since that data might varies in the type of events that I might be storing, I'll go ahead and use something like a NoSQL database, since I will not have those constraints. Another question I try to ask myself when trying to figure out a storage solution is, how much data am I going to have to process? So based on that question, I'm going to try to figure out what's a better solution. So if I have huge amounts of data to process in the millions and billions and of terabytes and petabytes, I highly encourage you to use a NoSQL database. The nice thing about NoSQL databases is they're designed to scale horizontally. So this means that you don't have to up the resources on a physical machine, but you can just add more machines to your system. On the other hand, if you're still early on at the very beginning of a project, or you're still not sure the kind of scale that you're going to need for your project, I encourage you to start off with a SQL database. And the reason why is because if in the future you might need to pull a relationship between elements, and if you would like to run some kind of analytics, having a structured database will help you gather all of the data rather than have all the unstructured data stored across a bunch of different data stores. So usually, if I need to store large amounts of data, I will try to do some more in-depth thinking about how we can efficiently store that data. However, if we don't have huge amounts of data, I try to start with a SQL approach, simply just to keep all the operational complexity more simple. So the final question I ask myself whenever trying to choose a data store option is, what are the current integration of the ecosystem? So for example, I'm going to try to figure out are there some connectors available already for this specific technology? So if I'm going to go ahead and create a relational database system, I'm going to try to use a popular SQL engine so I can have a lot of support both from the development ecosystem, so I can have tools and connectors that are already built in different programming languages. So I might have a Java connector to connect to my SQL instance, so I don't have to build that from scratch. So understanding what kind of tool sets are already available and what's already pre-built and what will help you as a developer get started off really fast, I think that's another consideration that you should keep in mind. And this is definitely one that I keep in mind whenever trying to use a data store option. After watching this video, I hope that you have a better framework for choosing a data store option. I shared with you guys the approach that I use for figuring out how I want to go about figuring out a specific solution for a data store problem that I need to solve. So if you have any more insights or any recommendation on how to approach this problem, please share them down in the comments down below. Also, if you found this video helpful, I encourage you to like it. And if you want to see more content like this and me talking about some more data engineering basics, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next week, I'll see you guys then. Bye!